So good morning. This is Ahmed Mustafa and
Mary Shelsby.
and we're a member of the GRAR Technology Committee. And today, Mary is here to talk to you a little bit about selecting the right equipment to take excellent real estate pictures. Mary, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, of course I'm a realtor, but I've got a background in communications. My degree was in journalism, and I've always loved photography. So.
That's great. You're actually featured every once in a while in the Democrat and Chronicle, right?
Oh, I've been lucky there, yes. I've had a few dozen panoramas published. So.
You have, right. So one of the things we realize is that we've moved a long way in real estate technology from going from 35 millimeter pictures, which were always iffy, to now digital technology where we have a lot of ability to edit and manipulate our pictures even after we've taken them, right? So I think on the table we have quite a selection of digital cameras.
Great.
Right?
Yes, yes. One thing people often ask me about my photographs is, what kind of camera do you have? And I'm just here to say it's not about the camera. It's more about lenses and also, setting up the shot, composing the shot, and knowing how it all works.
Well, so today we'll focus on the equipment. We'll talk about
Correct.
composing and some of the other things in another segment. But today, I read a few weeks ago that the most pictures in the world on a daily basis that are taken with the iPhone. And you and I were discussing a little bit earlier, the iPhone is not really the best equipment to take real estate pictures, right?
Absolutely, it's not. It just does not have the equipment. It does not have the lenses. It does not have the exposure ability. So it just does not take the quality photos that you can get even from a point-and-shoot camera. So if you're going to be doing fact sheets, brochures, that sort of thing, they're going to be fuzzy. They're going to be grainy. They're not going to represent the property well. Furthermore, it's not a professional image. Your clients expect you to market their property to the best of your ability, and to use a real live camera is not too much to ask.
That's right. So let's just, before we get into selecting the right camera, let's talk a little bit about terminology. We'll use this big monster here as an example, but you've spoken about lenses, you've talked about exposure, and some other things. Use that maybe as an example to tell us what a lens is, what the exposure is, kind of help us understand.
Okay. Lenses, first off, I just want to say you don't need an expensive camera. This is a very expensive camera. I won't say how much because my husband might watch this. But it has detachable lenses, and I've got a whole bag full of those that I shouldn't talk about either. This is a fully manual camera, so I set things like aperture size and speed in order to manipulate the photo inside. You don't need all that.
Right. Most people like me are not going to walk in and take pictures with that. So what's another
Absolutely
suitable alternative
not.
here that we have on the table?
Any point-and-shoot camera, and you can spend $50, you can spend $150, you can spend $300–400 on a good point-and-shoot camera. They will all do the job that we need, much better than a phone camera.
All right, great. So knowing that we're not going to use our telephones, and knowing we don't need to buy a multiple $1,000 camera, if we're looking for a point and shoot, there's 20 places to buy them online or even locally. How do we identify what's the right camera for us? What are some of the things we're looking for?
To me, number one for real estate photography is making sure that you've got a wide-angle lens. I've got a few shots here, and I just want to demonstrate what a different lens will do.
Okay, so why don't we take a look at some of your examples?
Okay, super.
Right.
Great.
So Mary, show us some of the examples of your the pictures that you brought with us today.
Great. What I did was just put together 4 photographs that I took at standing in one spot using 4 different lenses. The first shot of a fireplace I took with a 50mm lens. Without moving, I changed lens and went to a 35mm lens, where you're starting to get you can almost tell it's a fireplace. Then I went to a 24mm lens, and here you're actually starting to see some of the room. And then when you go to an 18mm lens, which is what I use most of the time, you actually get a feel for the room that the fireplace sits in. So when I'm shopping for a new camera for real estate, the number one thing that I'm looking at is that it has a wide angle lens, minimum 18 millimeter.
All right, Mary. Well, thanks. Those are some great example pictures that really show, standing in the same location, how much better view of a room you can get with the right equipment.
Absolutely, yes. I do take some close-ups. I take, when I do a property, I try to cover the whole range of photographs, but most important is to have that wide-angle lens.
All right, great. Well, and on our next segment, we can talk about composing good pictures for a real estate listing.
Excellent,
All right.
great.
Thanks, Mary.
Mary Shelsby with a tech tip from the GRAR Technology Committee.
And this is Ahmed Mustafa. Thanks for your time.